Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome on back to the channel. Hope that you are doing well. Hope your day is moving along pretty nicely. No hiccups, no hills, no bumps in the road. Hope your day is just flowing as smooth as Kenny G on the Mississippi. Because that'd be flowing smooth. I don't know what that means. Today we're listening to Vocalise. Vocalise by Rachmaninoff. This is composed and published in 1915. We're going to be checking this particular performance out. We've listened to a little bit from him before, and now we're going to give it a little bit more in. We're checking this out as it was suggested and sponsored by Joaquin. So Joaquin, thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you so much for the support as well. I appreciate that. Now, I just chose I didn't necessarily get like a link to a specific performance or anything. So I'm just choosing the top version that I have here on Spotify, which looks like it's going to be performed by Misha Maisky and Pavel Gililov. And I hope that I've pronounced that correctly. This is coming off of their 1990 album, Misha Maisky Meditation. Just so at least you know where it's coming from here. All right, let's go ahead and dive on in. We'll discuss it a little bit after. Here we go. I already know what type of piece this is going to be. This is that deep, contemplative kind of music. It's like a beautiful romantic dance between the piano and the violin here. Or cello, rather. Isn't this just like utterly blissful to you? This is love to me. Because they just keep taking each other up. They lift each other. Beautiful marriage between the two. Those are the butter notes, as Miles Davis would say. That right there. I can tell. Very like jazzy and Gershwin kind of. A little lift. I think that that is such an intensely beautiful piece. And on one hand, there's also this really humble simplicity to the beauty of it all because it's only piano and cello. So there's a simplicity in the quantity, but it is no doubt missing absolutely nothing in the quality of the music. This is a piece that I think is built upon subtlety, built upon that simplicity and the foundation. And I think it allows the music to soar, to dance, to sway, and move in a particular direction as per the cadence of the musicians who are involved. I feel like this is a deeply intimate piece of music. You know what the imagery that this gives me is love. And I don't mean this love, that love, infatuation. I don't mean anything shallow. I don't mean anything quick. I mean, this to me is the beginning of a deep relationship. When you see an older couple, 70s, 80s, and in some regard, you get into conversation with them, and one of them says, oh yeah, we've been married 60 years, 50 years. And, there's that natural astoundment of that fact. And of course, the ups, the downs, but all through with the love throughout those decades. But it had to begin somewhere. And when I listen to this piece of music, it makes me think that this is the beginning. maybe the two lovers don't quite know exactly what's destined ahead of them in this long relationship, in this long road that their hearts and souls and spirits will travel, that is love. But I think that it's the moment that they know this is something special. Because the track just, to me, I can't speak for what you hear or what you see, but to me, this track has a deep, deep, deep elegance and like I said, intimacy. And on one hand, yes, there's romanticism. There's a romantic side, a little sweep of sensuality that comes in every once in a while. But I really think that this is just beyond that. I think that this is, to me, the essence musically of true love. And I love the way that the two instruments in this arrangement and in this marriage melodically dance with each other. Sometimes they dance in ecstatic moments, and the piano will kind of lay footwork while the cello will kind of swing and dance and flutter atop. And then other times they'll switch and the piano comes up a little bit more. The chords, there's some of those moments in there where I said that it sounds like when Miles Davis says, the butter notes, like there's moments where it comes up a little bit and there's a lushness that's added, but then the violin will become a little more subtle. So there's a back and forth that's going on, but together they make this really gorgeous unified piece of music. And I just think that the way that they perform here is really fantastic. And another thing, and this is, maybe I'm going too far with what I'm going to say next, but I feel like in a piece like this, you could bring two musicians together, put the sheet music before them, and have them perform. And you would get something very beautiful, of course, with very accomplished musicians. You would get that. But I also feel that this piece almost has a prerequisite of the musicians having to having to like know each other. And I don't mean like in a weird way, but like there has to be some sort of relationship not besides outside the music. That's not what I mean. There has to be a depth between the two. Not just two session musicians brought together. Here's your sheet music. Here's your sheet of music. Play the notes. I just feel like there's something more. And like I said, I don't mean in a weird kind of way, but like a musical. When you get two musicians who are so knowledgeable about music and you bring them together, they can make that connection like that beyond the sheet music, and in a musical connection together where these two musicians lock into each other. And it's like when you watch a beautiful ballet performance and you have the two leads who dance with each other and hold each other so close and stuff like that, that they may portray intimacy. Obviously they're not, right? Not real, but they portray that on the stage or on a theater or in a movie. They portray it while the actors, the performers, are not literally together. I feel like that's what the musicians kind of have to get here. Like they almost have to feel something for one another in a musical sense and in an instrumental sense. And I think that will bring in the feeling of love that I think is very, very clearly portrayed here in the music. I hope that all that made sense, because I feel like it may not have. But I think that you may know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. The rises and falls in this music are just really beautiful, really incredible to listen to. And there's some parts of it, especially with the piano playing, that kind of sounded somewhat jazzy to me. It reminded me a little bit of like very old, like 20s kind of jazz and such. And it made me think of when I was first kind of building my personal jazz playlist, which I'm pulling up here. When I was first building this and putting it together for myself, there was a playlist on Spotify that it was like classical jazz, something like that. And I found a decent amount of music that, it was either jazz covers of classical music or at least inspired and such. And I think that this piece would actually fit very well into that. One of them was here. This one, turn off my shuffle. This was a faster piece, and when it gets to it, I don't know. There's something really cool about that kind of sound. And then you have this one here. I'm just showing you a few. Okay, can I show you the cool breakaway of the piano in this one? Hold on. That is so good. Okay, I know we're getting off track, but it just brought to mind this particular kind of sound. Okay, let's look up some of the info here. Vocalise rather, is a song by Sergei Rachmaninoff, composed and published in 1915 as the last of his 14 songs or 14 romances, which this is deeply romantic. It's written for a high voice, soprano or tenor with piano accompaniment. It contains no words, but is sung using only one vowel of the singer's choosing. Okay, interesting. It was dedicated to soprano singer Antonina Nezdanova. It is performed in various instrumental arrangements more frequently than the original. Okay, well, we heard cello and piano. I'm kind of curious about the with vocals. Although the original publication stipulates that the song may be sung by either soprano or tenor, it is usually performed by a soprano. Though the original composition is in the key of C, I don't care about all that. Arrangements. It's been arranged for many vocals and this. Yeah, I mean, I would love to hear. I'd really be curious to hear a vocal arrangement. Let's see if I can find one really quick. If you don't mind, just give me a brief moment. Vocalise. I'm trying to see if I can find one that actually. I mean, I'm trying to see if like they say vocals or something. You know, like a singer. There you go. I just wanted to get an idea of how it sounds. I mean, that's gorgeous, isn't it? What a gorgeous voice she has. I just kind of want to hear this a little bit, if you don't mind. The way she wields her voice. Orchestra is just a bed for her, and she's making it. That's a moment. That's a moment. That was a handoff right there. When was this recorded? Let me see if I can find out while we're listening. It's really, really nice. 1958, it looks like. Doesn't that give you chills a little bit? Ooh, that's a comforting note. That's comforting. Almost clarinet, kind of. Almost sound like a reed instrument there. Mesmerizing. That I wasn't planning to do another version. That wasn't what I planned to do. But man, what a cool way to compare and to hear the differences, because they do hit two different feelings, two completely different sounds, right? We have vocals and orchestra as opposed to something more intimate with the cello and piano. So there's a completely different feeling in a broad sense, but I still think you have that depth of intimacy. And now actually hearing the human voice, it adds, of course, a different dimension to it. This performance, Anna Moffo. Wow. And like it says, I like how it's all built off of one syllable. It's all built off of one, just one little, man, stylish. When the leading lyric coloratura sopranos of her generation, she possessed a warm and radiant voice. Yes, she did. Noted for her physical beauty, she was nicknamed La Bellissima. Incredible. I mean, that is beautiful. Her vocals are soft and padding, and at other times slightly playful, but always, God, I know it's such a 2010s thing to say, but very epic in every sense of the word. Immense and powerful, while still remaining sensitive and deeply intimate with the music, and the way that the orchestra would rise like lungs in her breath and kind of give her a break and kind of come up a little bit, and then on their exhale she would continue forward in her vocal performance. I think that that's a lovely back and forth, and like I said, both of these versions are completely valid in I think in execution, they both bring something completely different to the table. And yet I think that whatever they bring to the table, you're inviting them back next time you're hosting a dinner party. Let me know what you guys thought, of course, down below in the comments. As always, I appreciate you all being here. Joaquin, thank you so much for the requests. You got a little 2-for-1 here on the Buy Me a Coffee. I just wanted to hear how another version sounded, and honestly, her voice just kind of immediately captured me, and I wanted to hear it play out instead of just giving a little snippet. So I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you as always for being here. Please swing back again next time, and I'll see you then. Bye, guys.